Morning, Detective. Coffee?
No, thanks. I'm trying to quit. So, what do we have here?
It's a real bad scene. Forensics have been bagging up pieces all morning.
Man, somebody really went to town on this, huh?
What kind of monster does a thing like this?
Well, you know how the game is played, officer. Some people like to keep things neat and tidy. Some people don't even care where the dice land. Any next of kin?
Yeah, several expansions.
Family level, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's really sad. So, make sure that Forensics gets those bits over there. I don't know if they actually saw it. Are you okay?
Nah, I think I'm gonna go throw up.
Oh, here, hang on. There you go.
Thanks.
Damn it. Hey everybody! Today we're going to be doing a Kickstarter preview for Chronicles of Crime, coming to Kickstarter shortly from Lucky Duck Games. Now we're talking about Kickstarter preview, so you know what that means. Kickstarter alert. Right. So what we have here is kind of a scenario-based police procedural, right?
Yeah, but with a twist. You have the VR goggles, I guess?
Yeah, the game centers around, it's a cooperative game. The players are going to be working together to solve the Chronicles of Crimes. And they're going to be doing so by moving around these different locations and looking at evidence and interviewing different people. And the main mechanism by which they interact with the game is an app that goes on your phone, or I guess a small tablet or whatever. It has these little goggly bits that go over it, and then you
look through it and look around the scene of the crime, which is actually really cool.
Here, check it out.
All right. Oh, yeah. Yep. Definitely a broken bloody shovel. There's the corpse, blood. Oh, there's a book.
A book?
A book?
Yep.
All right.
So every time that you get assigned a case, you'll have a scene of a crime that you got to investigate. You'll use the glasses to look around and try to spot as many clues as you can. It's kind of neat because everyone can have a chance to take a look at things, and different people will see different clues.
Right, and so like you saw, one person looks and they say, "Oh, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that," and you've got these little clue cards that you'll be the other players will be pulling from the stack as the person who's doing the investigation is looking around. And then once that's all done, you can use the app to scan each card, and whether it's a location, a piece of evidence, one of the many people who might be involved in these crimes, you scan it with the card, or rather with the phone, excuse me, and it will give you pertinent information to that person or thing to that case. So what you have here is kind of a toolkit that the people who write the scenarios will be able to use to be able to deliver characters and evidence and stuff like that. All right, so that's that. So you want to talk to the gardener now?
Sure. The gardener is next to the crime scene. He seems to be in a bit of a panic, but is willing to answer questions on any topic. What do you want to talk about?
Start with the obvious.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, that's my shovel. I left it there for lunch. It was a mistake. I should have learned from that time a homeless guy stole my tools from me. Number 34. I like the fact that the game lets you have different avenues to finding clues. Mm-hmm. You might talk to a person and discover that they'll give you information about a handbag. But if you go to a different location, you might actually find the handbag there before you ever talk to the person. Right,
maybe never having spoken to the person. So it doesn't strictly lock you into like a single direction that your investigation has to take, which is actually really cool. That's neat. Because ultimately, a game like this is only ever going to be as strong as the writing that goes into the scenarios. And we've played two scenarios. One of them is very short. It's the tutorial scenario. And one of them is the introductory scenario that kind of gets you used to the fact that Meeple is everywhere and ruining everything. Don't let us inconvenience you, buddy.
I could have somebody look into the drugs, or the bag, or maybe the garden tool.
We could also have the criminologist
Right.
take a look at the body.
Yeah.
One of the things I find really interesting is the fact that the players are all these sort of like either forensic experts or psychologists or the doctor or whatever, and you can kind of scan the character and then scan a piece of evidence or a witness or something, and every combination will give you something, which is actually really cool. It means there's just a tremendous amount of information in each of these scenarios, because like we were saying before, things happen, that it's the writing that's going to kind of make or break the experience of a game like this.
Now, that is a little trouble too, because this is coming from a different language to begin with, and so some of the cultural things...
there weren't like language translation issues.
Yeah.
There's some very minor cultural stuff. Like, this is definitely not a game for kids. Like in the first scenario, you've got drugs, you've got murder, you've got all kinds of nasty stuff, and that's fine. Just kind of like know that going in. Yeah. The other thing that it sort of hinges on is how many scenarios and kind of what quality they're going to be. I assume with a really successful Kickstarter campaign, there's going to be plenty. The app is very functional. It's fun to look around and see different pieces of evidence and call them out as your team scrambles to find them. It's very neat.
Yeah.
It does what it does in a really interesting way, and more than anything, I think that this is a really solid proof of concept that this can work.
I haven't seen anything, and I don't know nothing about what happened this morning. Give me a break, would you?
Well, he just gave himself up, man. So, do we have enough?
One of the other slight problems with the game is because of the way it's set up, you never quite know when you're done with the investigation.
Right. That's an interesting thing. Basically, you're supposed to investigate until you figure out who done it, and then you go back and you talk to the chief and you answer the chief's questions about the case, and assuming you get them all right, then you get your score. You find out that you did a great job or whatever. But since you don't actually know what questions the chief is going to ask you, it's hard to know when you've done enough investigation.
Yeah, or if you've done too much, wasted time.
And therefore lowered your team's score overall.
I'll be interested to know how close we've come.
Yeah. And otherwise, I think this game is really cool.
Yeah, I think it's got a lot of potential. With these tiny little details that, might or might not be perfect. And I was a little worried that the gimmick was too gimmicky. But overall, I actually really excited to see where this goes and how far they take it. Overall, it's interesting to work your way through the story. It's like you peel the layers of the onion.
Kind of like a choose-your-own-adventure.
Except sort of the opposite of a choose-your-own-adventure, because you're not really choosing how it goes. Yeah, you're investigating. But it's really cool either way. We totally think it's worth checking out the Kickstarter. I'm Andrew.
I'm Jess.
This has been Gameosity. See you next game.